let's speak to a man who was there. The 7-3 Panthers. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Play-by-play radio announcer for the squad, Mick Mixon, back on Tim and Sid. How you doing, Mick?
Y'all have had me on before. You must have remembered how much fun it was, and calling me back, I'm appreciative. I can tell you exactly what happened on that play. Luke Kuechly, it was such a hotly contested game and such a great game. Luke Kuechly just wanted to hug Gronkowski.
Right.
Yep.
But the affection was demonstrated a little prematurely.
Right.
Well,
right.
Thanksgiving in America is around the corner, so
Right.
the feeling of love is in the air.
And there is a lineup oftentimes to hug Gronk, but usually it's at a club.
but usually with a lot of girls named Jen.
And he has no shirt on. But that's besides the point.
You know what, Mick? I've looked at it a bunch of times, and we're all so used to the uncatchable ball being just one that sailed over a guy's head. I think that's what kind of was a little shock to the system last night, is that this unplayable ball is applicable to a lot of different types of throws. But the more you watch it, that was a really good call last night in a tough spot.
You think?
I think it was. I don't think that was a playable that was not a catchable ball for Gronkowski.
Well, it was catchable by somebody. Robert Lester caught it. And
that's true.
The officiating mechanic is when in question, because they don't use doubt anymore. They used to say when in doubt. The
Right.
officials didn't like that. So that was predatory to their overall confidence. So it's now when in question, the ball is deemed to be catchable. These guys catch a lot of balls that don't look very catchable, but they catch them anyway. But I mean, just me, I'm just one guy. I don't speak for the entire organization, but I thought the Panthers were very fortunate last night.
Okay.
That game could have gone either way. That game was an instant classic. Even if the Panthers had lost the game, it's still a high-level football game, a game between two heavyweight clubs this year, and a game of long possessions. I mean, the possession chart, it almost looks like just one half was played because of how few of times each team had the football, a game of sustained drive. And Panther fans have been waiting for a long time now, 2.5 years into Cam Newton's career. When were we going to see the defining, the signature, the clutch, late, game-winning drive, the grace under pressure? And we saw that last night, not once actually, but twice in the second half with 13-play, 80-plus yard drives.
Mick Mixon, play-by-play voice of the Carolina Panthers, an official friend of the show, joining us here on Tim and Sid. I was going to say, despite the drama at the end, a lot of people have picked on, loved, hugged Cam Newton along the way. Was this his statement game?
Well, hopefully not. I mean, hopefully there'll be more statements
Right.
to come, and he's just getting started, really. He's had so many stats and so many runs and Houdini acts and improv Fran Tarkington moments and so many heroics. So many times he's done the Superman pose, and there you go, first down, going that way. But there hadn't been the wins to come. And so now I think what Panther fans are hoping is that, yeah, this is the start of something. This is kind of the continuation of a maturity process and his evolution as a QB. And he'd done it before. He'd had some terrific late drives before, only something would happen. At Chicago last year, at Atlanta last year, the Seattle game this year. I mean, it's just been a crazy constellation of symptoms that had kept him from really having that growing number of game-winning drives late. Tom Brady's had 38 of them in his career, and he almost had number 39 last night.
Mick, does this legitimize the Panthers? And by legitimize, I mean, would they be now disappointed, considering how they're rolling, to not be in that NFC title game this year?
Well, you could still go 7-9 from here.
This is true. This is true.
I think our position well, but so if I were the head coach or a coach, and you asked me that, I would try to, as artfully as I was able to, dodge the question and deflect it.
The funny thing is, Ron Rivera. The funny thing is, Ron Rivera didn't really deflect any of that last night. He kind of went there on his own, and I found that a little surprising for a guy who some people kind of was surprised to see back this season.
Me too. It's weird how the hot seat. A buddy of mine was calling me last night after the game saying, "Do you think that Coach Rivera will be back next year?" And I said, "What are you talking about? He's not going to get fired." And he said, "I didn't mean that. I mean, will someone else hire him as their head coach?" So it's funny how these things can turn around so quickly. But Coach Rivera he's the anti-Belichick, if I said that right. He's just he gives sometimes too much information. Just came from a press conference downstairs at our stadium, and the first question to him, Tim and Sid, was, well, how would this win rank? Would this be the best win of your career? And I'm writing on my notepad, don't compare wins, underline twice. But then he starts comparing it. He says, well, the San Francisco win, this one would probably be tied with the San Francisco win last week because San Francisco was on the road and blah, blah, blah. He's just such a great guy that he hasn't, I think, yet learned that this is not a winnable game. You don't compare wins. You don't deal with hypothetical issues and you don't look in the rearview mirror if you're an NFL head coach.
It's so funny that you say that. I remember covering the Super Bowl where he was the defensive coordinator with the Chicago Bears, and there were rumors about him being, looked at as a head coach, and he didn't shy away from him. And he almost got blackballed for doing that at that Super Bowl because he just answered the questions frankly. And now you look at him and he hasn't changed. And maybe, good on him, because there's a lot of pressures to be that coach that just answers in cliches and sidesteps everything out there.
I know. As reporters, we really can't complain
No.
that coaches just give us pablum at press conferences and then complain that they give us too much information. But sometimes, working closely with Coach Rivera and rooting so hard for him because he's such a great guy, you almost want him to just kind of zipper it up every now and again.
Yeah, it's funny. And by the way, pablum, I believe, a Canadian invention. Do you know
No
that?
way.
You're kidding me.
No way.
Pretty sure.
We're number one.
Well,
We're number
we
one.
won't mention our mayor. Shh.
Do you remember those teething biscuits?
Oh, the
Remember?
arrowroots?
Are you kidding? I go to
Arrowroots?
Costco. I pick up eight cases. Mick, that and the little MGD on a Friday night. I'm all over that.
So you guys don't even need guests, man. Y'all show has got such panache. It's unbelievable.
Mick, the bottom line is we're getting fired in 6 months.
Yeah,
so what the
probably.
hell, right? We're just having fun with friends of the show, and we'll see how it
Why
works
not
out.
have good guys like you
Yeah,
on?
exactly. Mick, listen, we love having you. Let's do it more often. We don't do it enough. And with a 7-3 team, hey, why the hell not? Have a good week. We appreciate it, Mick. Thank you.
Well, like we say in the South, just holler at me anytime.
All right, we will.